Good morning. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Here we are again. It is Wednesday morning, and today's lesson is 11-3. And we're going to start on page 478 in your book. And this lesson is about solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation. And you can kind of start getting a feeling of how they're working up in the progression of solving equations that are becoming increasingly difficult. But you are equation pros, so you're not going to have any problem whatsoever. Let's start with some samples, and then I'll end with giving you an assignment. Again, we're on lesson 11-3, and that is page 478 in your math textbook. And I'm so glad you could join me. I wish we were in person. And then you could give me a hard time like you always do. Number 1. Today, we're going to group the terms with variables on one side of the equal sign, and then we're going to simplify, or in other words, we're going to solve. Number 1, 5n equals 4n plus 32. Now notice we have a 5n, we have a 4n. The 4n is on the right side of the equation, and we want to move it over here so that our whole number without a variable is on one side and all of our variables are on the other. So I'm going to rewrite my problem, and we're going to solve this. I want to move this 4n to the left. So I'm going to subtract 4n to both sides. 4n minus 4n is 0. So I'm left with 32 equals 5n minus 4n, n. And that one was easy schmeezy. N equals 32. Number 2. Negative 6x minus 28 equals 4x. I want to get the 4x's on the x's, on one side, and over here I have an x and a whole number. I can't move the 4x over here, or I'm going to be left with a 0 over here, so I want to move the negative 6x over here. So negative 6x minus 28 equals 4x. To get rid of this negative 6x, I got to add 6x. If I add 6x to the left, I have to add 6x to the right. Negative 6x and 6x cancel each other out. I'm left with negative 28 equals 10x. Now I'm going to solve for x. Well, and actually in this case, the book tells you to just simplify it. If I were to divide by 10 and divide by 10, I would get x equals a negative 2.8. But the book is calling this simplified. So apparently, if it doesn't turn into a nice, neat little problem, you can leave it in this simplified form. Number 3. 8w equals 32 minus 4w. I am going to find out which side my variables are on and move them so that they're all on the same side. I want to get this negative 4w and put it over here with this 8w. What is the inverse of negative 4w? It is plus 4w. If I add 4w to the right, I have to add 4w to the left. 8w plus 4w is 12w equals 32. 12 will not go into 32 evenly, so the book says we can leave it just like that. If you were to solve, you could use your calculator and you're going to get a decimal number, but this is good enough for right now. Number 4. 4y equals 2y plus 40. Notice I have variables on both sides of my problem, and because the 4y is the only number over here on the left side, I'm going to go ahead and move this 2y to the left side. So I have a plus 2y, the inverse is a negative 2y. If I subtract 2y from the right, I have to subtract 2y from the left. 4y minus 2y is 2y equals 40. Solve for y. 2 times y is in the way, so the inverse of 2 times is divide by 2. If I divide the left, I have to divide the right, and my answer is y equals 20. That is number 4. Number 5. You can see in the book it is 8 plus 6a equals negative 2a plus 24. I have a 6a over here. I have a negative 2a over here. I have a whole number here and a whole number here. I'm going to move my variable around so that it stays positive. I have 6 positive a's, positive 6a over here, and a negative 2a over here. So I'm going to move this 2a to the left side. I'm going to add 2a to the right, add 2a to the left, and I'm left with 8 plus 8a equals 24. Now I've got to get this whole number over here so we can combine like terms, and I'm going to subtract 8 from the left, subtract 8 from the right. 8a equals 24 minus 8, and so we have 8a equals 16. I can solve for a. It's being multiplied by 8, so I'm going to divide by 8. If I divide the left, I have to divide the right. Remember, this line stands for division. That fraction always indicates a division problem. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times a is a equals 16 divided by 8 is 2. So our answer is a equals 2. All right, let's look at number 7. Members at the Star Theater pay $30 per month plus $1.95 for each movie. Non-members pay the regular $7.95 admission fee. How many movies would both a member and a non-member have to see in a month to pay the same amount? All right, so we're going to set an equal sign here in the middle because they're saying you've got a member over here and you have a non-member over here, okay? And we want to figure out what it's going to take for them to pay the same amount. So if you're a member, you pay $30 plus $1.95 for each movie. Non-members pay the $7.95 admission fee. So it's going to be $7.95 for every movie they watch. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get my M variable for the numbers for the movies watched on the same side. So I'm going to subtract $1.95 from the left, and I'm going to subtract $1.95 from the right. $1.95M from each side. So I'm going to be left with 30 equals $6 M. I want to solve for M, so I'm going to divide the right by $6, and I'm going to divide the left by $6. $30 divided by $6, I can watch 5 movies as a member or 5 movies as a non-member, and both will pay the same price. So your answer is 5 movies. All right, what I'd like you to do now is I would like you to complete page 478, your assignment, page 478, numbers 8 through 18 evens. Remember, you must show your work. And as a challenge, I want you to do 20, 22, and 24. Thanks. Have a great day.